there's some pretty big players in this film, and like you said, I'm newer to the scene, and just the same amount of investment that they took in the scenes with me. You're not only trying to make a good scene, but also like getting to know me as a person, and it's just. I feel like this world this career is quite scary and daunting, and I've been lucky to just meet such wonderful, gracious, warm people. And I was also surprised at just how well behaved the dog was. I mean, like, he takes up so much space. Like, he could be.
Bill Murray is just right here standing behind us.
Yeah. Do you want to?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Oh, congratulations.
I think honesty and just showing up when you need to show up. I'm pretty bad at. I mean, I'm not good at keeping in touch, but when I need to show up, I'll show up. I think my friends would say that, and I think, as long as you know when that time is, you gotta really pull through, then. Yeah, I think honestly just being there most of the time is like the best thing.
100%.
Yeah, and a best friend can be a dog.
Could you just tell us a little bit about your role in this film?
Yeah, so Val is a writer, and I'm not sure a lot has really happened for her in that field. But she gains access to her father's old writing, and through this develops friendships and works through her grief and understands the relationship of her late distant father to this dog. And it's a lot. I think grief can be such a blanket feeling and wake up all these other emotions underneath it. And likewise with friendship, it's such like a vague, big word what a friend is, and they can support you in different ways. Without even realizing that they are, I think. Friendship can sort of creep up on you. I think Val is examining grief, examining her relationship to her writing, examining her relationship to her father, and ultimately trying to figure out how to help home this dog and find a place for not only her grief, but the animal, I think, in her heart and home.
Congratulations on the film.
Thank you. Have you seen it?
Not yet.
Neither.
There's a number of different themes dealing with loss and grief, and so it's a very intimate film. But it's also like the relationship, growing to love this dog, and that at first seems like maybe a burden, but then they kind of come together, and there's something that's a gift there. And so you kind of have to create themes and structure that kind of plays with that narrative and that development of the story, so that you can really unfold and like this sort of subtle transformation that she goes through, coming to love this dog and seeing it as a gift, I think is kind of one thing that we really had to track.
Right. And developing that across the whole story when we get towards the end, like understanding her relationship with the dog as it develops. For me, it was actually what you wrote for the final scene, because it informed a lot of stuff that we did in when I was working on and other scenes.
It's non-linear. You kind of find these important moments to kind of dive in and find a theme that really like resonates with the picture, and then you take that and you kind of seed that across the rest of the movie.
Right.
So,
it becomes your like guiding post, right? So you're like, oh, this is the theme that's going to be the fully fleshed out version, and then we gotta do this little bits and pieces to lead us to there later.
What is the most challenging yet rewarding part of balancing and heart in this movie for you guys, that you were able to find that perfect balance?
Well, I think it was just watching Naomi and Bing's true relationship actually develop. Because, when you go into something like this, we felt really confident about what kind of an animal Bing is. And we certainly knew enough about Naomi and her work, but you never really know. It's a little bit like casting two kind of lovers in a rom-com or something like that. Will they really have chemistry? And so to watch them really develop a true kind of love for each other, that was a beautiful thing.
And now just seeing how big this dog, was there any like intensity in the scenes, like since his size?
Well, Naomi's not a big person.
Right.
And so the dog weighs considerably more than Naomi.
So there was a little, like, some of our early days were on the streets of New York, and there's traffic, there are other dogs, so there was, a pure, like, strength situation from time to time where she just had to, but she had really good training. She learned to control the dog, and the dog loved her. So
she's an animal person, so she took right to it.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.